Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jerry Paul, and as you can see, it is pouring here today. So while it's raining all day, we're going to get to some overdue projects indoors. I have a Delonix Regia flame tree that popped up growing in Stella's nursery, and it has grown really tall and beautiful throughout the season. And today, it is going to get the first wiring of any of these trees from the Planter's Choice, hey Carl, Planter's Choice Bonsai Starter Kit. So a nice little pruning and its first shaping with wire. That's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so here we go. We've now converted to a toddler bed, so you need a crash landing zone because Stella's into jumping and somersaults now. So here we go, the flame tree. You see it's about to reach the ceiling, not quite there yet. This nice little white pot that matches the shui, the shape of the base of the trunk. So it got its first pruning, I don't know when, I'd say within 6 months. And as you see, it has come back strong. So we have one branch down below, two, and then this main new leader that popped up. So I guarantee the leader's coming off. It's just a matter of where, because we do want to add some wires. So I'm going to get it set up on the table. First, I'm going to, one pain about these is all these are little leaves. You see them fall over the place. So I just put on my little Dyson animal here. I put it on that low setting, that high suction, extended run, and just, you know, it doesn't suck up the majority of the soil. It just takes the leaves off the top. So I'm going to get this cleaned up before I move it, and we'll take a look at it. Stand by. All right, so I tried to split the difference. If I was able to get all the height of the tree in the shot, then it would just be so far out. Really wouldn't be able to see me working with it. So if you notice, if you have your own, you notice that some of these leaves turn yellow and start to drop off. That's just part of that leaf's life cycle. There's nothing wrong with your tree. I mean, if they're all like that, there may be something wrong with your tree, so always look for insect first. But this one is insect free. These leaves are getting a little older, so I'm kind of used to it at this point. They get old, they fall off, new ones grow. These things get really crazy flushes of growth, and they'll shoot up like a foot, 2 feet, seemingly overnight, and then they won't do much for a little bit. But I've noticed I could prune them 3 to 4 times a year, no problem at all. They always come back strong. And I've pruned them all the way down to where it's just a trunk, no branches, no leaves, nothing. So, all right, taking a look, it's like we have 2 trees divided here. You know, we have potential down here with an interesting trunk line, and then even this branch is offering a fun little shui to even start. So definitely going to put that to use. This is the oldest branch. As you see, it's got that woody color to it, but not getting much energy, as it's, you know, much skinnier than this branch, and this branch is newer. So that happens sometimes. The tree just gives energy to different parts in different ways. Each species, time of year, it's all different. Indoor, outdoor. All right, so the soil cleaned up nice with that little vacuum. So that's a good trick if you have any trees that are similar to this or this. I don't have much success doing cuttings with these, and honestly, I don't want any more trees. So I might just stick this in a pot that has another tree and see if it takes off, and then I might pot it up in the winter when I have more time on my hands. But for now, I'm just going to prune with the idea of setting up this tree itself. I'm not really too concerned. So that's dead and woody from an old cut. It usually dies back about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches. So I'm right at the point where there is live growth. So I'm going to stop there. It might drive you crazy if you're first getting into bonsai, having little, you know, dead areas from old branches and not just having it flow, but over time you'll get that flow, and this will be able to be kind of nipped off a bit, and it will look better. It's a lot of bonsai is having an ugly tree, setting it up for the future. So I do want this apex, I want it to be about twice the height of the pot. So figure right to here is about the same height as the pot. So ultimately with its canopy about here. So since we had leaves here and here, typically by pruning those off, we'll get growth coming out of the inner node where that branch or that leaf meets the trunk line there. So I'm going to err on the side of caution and go in between this one and this one, leaving room for dieback. Boom. You want to cut that on an angle. And I'll just, what I do is I just take off the leaves, boom. I leave the growth, the new growth up top, and I'll just stick that in a pot. I would, you know, most people would probably cut this in half and then stick them both in the pot, but I've had none of the bottom portions come back with that. I've just had the top, so I'll just start with a taller tree. All right, so now we have a lot of length in this branch, but I am gonna wire that. So before I wire it, I'll say I'm just gonna take it back to just outside the pot. And that's pretty new growth, so I doubt there would be a chance of saving that for cutting. These are a backdrop I'm not sure if you saw before, but it's a nice local quartz rock and God of War, old totem from Hawaii. So I'm just looking at these roots. We'll take a look at those after. I'm not sure if I like them as an attractive feature or if they're taken away from the natural sway of the tree. So I have 3 different options for wire here. Basically leftovers. I have a 1mm roll, a 1.5mm roll, and a 2.5. And the 2.5, there's not that much left. And I used the bigger rolls, the 3 and the 2.5 on spruce trees. They just needed a hardier, they were older, needed a hardier wire. I'm going to start with the thicker stuff. Kind of guess. I should have tools specifically for cutting the wire, but I don't. All right, so going to wrap it and brace it here. See why I waited till after I pruned most of the leaves, because it would just be a total pain. All right, so this one naturally goes up first, so I'm going to come from below on its first wrap. Boom. This one I'll come from above. I'll make it go down a little bit on that first wrap. All right, so focusing on the longer one. So I'm hugging it with the wire. I'm not going too tight and not too loose. Making contact, but not squeezing. All right, kind of tucks up nice under this node here. And I think I left myself too much on this one, but that's all right, we could prune it after. Definitely overkill on wire on this side. that down. Actually, you know what? If I want this branch to get more energy, I'm going to disrupt it the least amount. So I'm not even going to be nipping the tip of this one. So hopefully it gains energy and kind of catches up to the others. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it higher than I normally would. Now I'll pull it off. Being careful not to prune my branch that I just talked about not pruning. Cool. All right, so this one comes up and wants to, I'm just gonna follow its natural. Bend that a little forward. And I'm gonna take it down again. This branch has so much energy that I don't really need to leave a leaf on it. I know with this species that it'll kick off some nice growth. All right. Yeah, so this is actually the front. I think I've been showing off the back the whole time. I had it turned in the window and I just went with that. Because these do follow the sun, so if you don't feel like wiring, like I said, it's been 5-6 years since I've been growing these species. This one's about 3 years old. And this is my first time wiring any of them. Ooh. Heard a micro crack there. Cool. Let's just flow like that. Oh no, I definitely broke it. Oh, just a little micro crack there. I think we're gonna be all right. The wire will actually hold it right in place. All right, gotta be careful. So then I'm going to leave these leaves on that one. All right, I'm going to bring you in to take a look at the roots and take a look at the top, and we'll decide what we're going to do from there. All right, so taking a look in at the roots. You see I have some nice natural movement in the beginning there. And I don't know, I think the roots could be really cool in the future though. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them. It doesn't necessarily mean, let's see, where's the front here? All right, so here's the front. Yeah, I think that could be a really attractive feature in the future. And you see the sway in the front, so it's really just the rear that's impacted there. All right, cool. So now taking a look at our wire. I'll leave this on for about 6 months, I'd say. So looking at March. Excuse the laundry basket in the back and the Stella toys everywhere. All right, zoom in. There we go. I think I'm actually just going to take this thing back hard to about here, because it's going to send up some vertical shoots anyways. And if I look in here and can focus, come on, focus on it. There we go. You see there's a couple of green little buds coming out there. So let's just encourage them to pop out, actually. And there's one right there. Yep. Just keep you right here for this. And boom. Cool. back. Oh. I'm going to have to decide. Not the back or the front. Or is that the back of the front? I guess in a circular pot, it doesn't matter. So. All right, so sitting back at her resting spot. I'll let y'all know how she's doing in a couple of months. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. And if you did, please like and subscribe and comment. Love getting the comments and questions and the help as well. I'm Jared Paul, and for my family, yours, cheers.